everybody. I'm Heather Drago. I'm the owner of Clever Girl Marketing and the co-host of That's a Hard No, the podcast. So I wanted to take a minute on the last day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month to talk to my fellow travelers who are either in the midst of cancer treatment, just got a diagnosis, or are in recovery. I've gotten a lot of questions recently over this past month from our listeners and from people who receive our 5 Things newsletter about cancer and if I have any advice. So I have a lot of it. I filled up my bullet journal full of notes to share with you, and instead of trying to type it up in individual emails or some other form, I thought this might be the best way to get my thoughts out. So I have 5 key pieces of advice. So number 1 is just to take care of and protect yourself. And this is where boundaries comes in. So if you listen to the Hard No podcast, then you know we talk all about setting boundaries. And so the first thing you need to do is do everything the doctors and nurses tell you to do. And this means this is no longer business as usual. You're going to have to stop the way you're doing things and take time to take care of yourself. This is also going to mean you may have to limit access to yourself. This is a big boundary. And so that may mean you appoint someone in your life to be sort of your contact person when it comes to cancer, because everyone is going to want to ask you questions, and it is exhausting to have to answer the same questions over and over again. And also it can be exhausting because you'll find yourself having to comfort others about how they feel about you having cancer, when really it should be the other way around. And people don't mean to do that. It's just, of course, they're human and they love you and they're concerned and worried. But it's exhausting to be the strong one all the time, and you need to give yourself space and grace to just be and to do what you need to do to take care of yourself and get through this journey that you're going to be on. One of the ways I did that is I set up an account on something called Caring Bridge. So you can find it at caringbridge.org. It's sort of like a blog or Facebook group, but it's extremely private. You can set it to public, but you can also make it invitation only. And I used that so that every time I got a biopsy report, or the day I had surgery, or as I progressed through radiation, I could send updates out to let the people I wanted to know what was happening. For a very long time, I kept my situation private, and I did not talk about it except through Caring Bridge. And I pretty much limited access to everyone unless they learned what was happening through that. And I felt kind of bad about it at first, but honestly, it helped me just be and do what I need to do, make sure information was out there, and not exhaust myself. Your energy is going to be a diminishing resource available to you, and so you need to do anything you can to conserve your energy. So just like when a plant is dying or has, you cut away the things that are sapping it of energy so that it can use the water and light to grow the parts that are healthy, you're going to have to do the same thing for yourself. You're going to have to cut away things that drain your energy so that you can focus on healing your body and getting through the things you need to get through. And that means rest and sleep and all the things they tell you to do. I had radiation, so I religiously applied aloe and Aquaphor and the lotions they prescribed. Do every single thing they tell you to do, even when you don't think you need it, because after a while things accumulate and you will regret it if you don't. So just religiously do everything they tell you to do, which means you're going to need the time and energy to do those things. Okay, number 2 is ask for help. So again, your energy is going to be a diminishing resource. So you do not need to be busying yourself with dishes and laundry and other busy work that other people can be doing for you. And people are going to be asking, what can they do for you? Especially during a pandemic when they can't come see you. So if that means sending someone else to get groceries for you, do it. If it means sending out your laundry for someone to take to get cleaned and bring back to you, do it. If someone says, what do you need? Tell them. You are not Wonder Woman, even though we all love her. You're not superhuman, and you need to, again, do anything you can to conserve your energy and heal yourself. So ask for help. Delegate as much as you can. Also, just be careful. Make sure you're not opening yourself up when you ask for people to come and help. Make sure you're also setting the boundary of, okay, thank you for coming and getting my groceries or bringing my groceries, but I'm not going to, spend 45 minutes talking to you about my health condition right now. It's tough, but this is the time to toughen up and take care of yourself. If you don't do it now, when will you do it? Number 3, this was probably the biggest thing for me. Control the chaos. I described myself during surgery and treatment and everything as feeling like a snow globe that was constantly being shaken and never being put down in time for things to settle. And there was just stuff flying around me all the time. Part of it is just the information you get, the overload of information you get related to all the medical stuff. But then there's the stuff swirling in your head about life insurance, health insurance, wills, what's going to happen if I can't do this, what's going to happen with my job, just the swirl of information is, you're just on overload, and your to-do lists become huge at the time when you have no energy to deal with them. And so this I found to be extremely important for me. So what I did was organize. So the first thing I did was get myself a binder. Now, I had breast cancer, so I got a pink one, of course, and I call this my boob binder. When I first bought one, it was this thick, and about a week later, I realized I needed more. So there you go. There's some of these pre-made for cancer patients, like on Etsy, I've heard, but I didn't know about them at the time, so I just did it for myself. So this thing has all the pamphlets they gave me, all the cards they gave me, and then I have a calendar in here where I kept track of appointments, and this was mainly in case there were any disputes with insurance later on. I was wanted to make sure I kept track of what happened when, and also when I got biopsy results and things like that. I won't go into all of them, but I also, my medical provider uses my chart, so a lot of that stuff is in there, but I still wanted to have like my take of what happened when and where everything happened. I have a tab for nutrition because I went to see a nutritionist. I have the different instructions people gave me, summary reports after every visits, test results, and then billing and stuff like that. And then in the back, I even have things like my healthcare power of attorney, my living will document, and then other resources and booklets people gave me. I cannot tell you how much it helped to know that everything is one place, because I could find it when I needed it, and also I could put it away when I didn't need to deal with it. So that's one thing I did. And I will tell you that I haven't, oh my God, it's so big I can't even close it, you guys. See, it gets put away. When I don't have time to deal with it, I kind of have it in a holding place, so at least I know where the papers are, and then when I have time, I put it there. The other thing I set up for myself is what I call a scrum board. It's something you use like in website development when we're tracking projects or tasks to do, tasks that are in progress, things that are done. I set one up for my life. And funnily enough, we have a thing on the Hard No podcast that we call the parking lot, where you can put away your ideas for later. So this is just a bigger version of that. And what I do, I actually split it up into 2 sections. One is for my business. So as you can see, I have a bunch of little website tasks that I need to do. I'm working on them. They get moved through in progress to done. And then when I was really going through the worst of everything with my cancer, this health, family, me section was everything that was in my brain. And the nice thing is you write it down, you stick it on a note, you put it up there, you know you won't forget it. You're not constantly writing to-do lists. It's just a way to make sure you don't forget, but you don't have to think about it all the time. So I would do that. And then the other thing we did, and I don't have one with me here, but I also kept a very small little notebook, and I keep it in my purse actually, and that, and a pen, and that goes with me to every I don't take the big binder with me everywhere when I have medical appointments. I take my little notebook and I take notes when there are questions, when there are big important pieces of information being shared. When I could, if I was able to, I took my husband with me, and he was the one who wrote in the notebook, so I would listen and he would write. It's difficult during a pandemic to do that, so he wasn't always available, so I did that. A couple of times I even used my voice notes recorder on my phone and asked, can I please record this as you're telling me so I can play this for my husband later? So take notes. I missed something, and this sort of is on the order of control the chaos, but it actually has to do with the first item, which is take care of and protect yourself. So women who've had babies can relate to this. And maybe anyone who got married can relate to this, but one of the things that happened when I got cancer is that everyone else who ever had cancer started to tell me their horror stories, or anyone who knew anyone who had cancer started to tell me their friends' horror stories. And you don't need to hear this. You know, like when you're having a baby, you get in an elevator, someone sees you're pregnant, they start telling you about their horrible labor story to freak you out. Why? I don't know why they do this, but they do. Anyway, so what happens when you have cancer isn't so much that, like, let me share my horror story. It's like, don't forget, here's some advice. I want to be helpful. You want to call this person, do this thing, make sure you take this thing, make sure you do, like, it's, it can be overwhelming. It can be upsetting. It's almost like someone's giving you advice about when you get married, you know, get this caterer, get this photographer, get this hall, make sure you do this by this date or whatever. It's too much. Like, you know, I hesitated putting this little video together because I don't want to add to that, but just be careful who you talk to. If people start to share stuff with you, you can say no, thank you very much. I honestly can't hear this right now. If you want to send me an email with this advice, great, but then you don't have to read it. You know, just be careful who you talk to, what information you let come at you. Don't look up things on WebMD. Listen to your medical professional's advice, and just protect yourself. The other thing, so here's item number 4. Okay, we've done 1, 2, and 3. Keep things in perspective. So when I was diagnosed and it was in the early stages of everything I was going through, I kept asking, why did I get this? What did I do? Was it this that caused it? Was it that caused it? And my doctor sat me down and said, 1 in 8 women gets breast cancer. So I stopped asking why me, and I started asking, well, why not me? You know? And so try to stay positive, try to keep things in perspective, try to hold on to the mindset of, yes, this is really difficult, this is really hard, but you can get through this. So I started thinking about gratitude, what I was grateful for. I was grateful it was caught early. I was grateful for the amazing medical professionals who were taking care of me. I was grateful for the family and friends who were supporting me. You know, I started a practice of, you know, writing out gratitude every day. And some days it's really hard and you're just like, I'm just grateful. I don't know what I'm grateful for. Maybe this cup of coffee. I don't know. But it's, you know, just try as best you can not to get mired down in the why me, and keep your sense of humor. I mean, the 100th time I had to open my shirt up to some complete stranger to show my boobs, like, I mean, at that point you just have to laugh. Like, there's no dignity left. So, you know, it's a sucky situation. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be painful, but you can get through it. Just try to help yourself stay as positive as possible as you go through it. And number 5, be patient and be kind to yourself. Don't should on yourself, as my friend Sarah Saunders says. You know, there's no rule book for this. There's no best way to get through it. You are who you are. Come as you are. If that means you don't put your makeup on and you put your dirty hair in a ponytail and you wear your scruffy sweater, so be it. At least you showed up. Recovering is a really long process. Even when you're done with treatment, it takes time. I'm months after radiation and I'm exhausted and I'm in pain and I'm having to tweak my cancer meds with my doctors and go to therapy because I'm still struggling a bit, and it's going to be a while, and I know that. So I'm just being patient because I know eventually my life will be better. I will get through this. This is not forever. It's a long road to get down, but you'll get there. So when all else fails, just go back to rule number 1, which was take care of yourself, protect yourself. I'm thinking about everyone going through this, especially now during a pandemic when we're all stressed out. I care about all of you. I wish you the best of luck and love and healing, and I'm here if you need to reach out. Oh, one other thing. I'm not the only one here. There are lots of other people here. So I live in Northeast Ohio, and there's a place called The Gathering Place. You can find them online. There's one on the east side, one on the west side. In almost every community in America, there are places like this that help cancer patients, and they have free resources. Take advantage of them. I went there for a nutritionist. I went there for counseling. My medical care is through the Cleveland Clinic, and their cancer center have counselors and advisors and legal resources and all kinds of people who are just waiting to help you. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Ask for help. Take care of yourself. Blessings.